Okay, next up for the car, we're going to do the upper and lower rear control arms and the springs. Um, I went with the Maxspeedingrods control arms. I'm on a budget, so I'm going to go with some cheaper stuff to begin with and see how the car rides and see how long they last. The reason I went with Maxspeedingrods is because I put their coilovers in my girlfriend's Honda. Seemed to be fine. They've been in there for about a year and a half. No issues. And also, they were the only ones I saw that came with grease fittings without stepping up to a higher end control arm. And then I went with just the cheap $100 lowering springs off eBay. I put a set of those in my BMW and it rode perfectly fine. So I figure we'll try them out and see how it goes. This is all, a couple $100. What's on there, I don't know. The factory, or it's not, it looks like factory control arms. It's got, I believe, aftermarket sway bars. I'm not sure about the rear one. The front ones are really thick, so I'm assuming it's aftermarket. Everything's been painted red, which, yeah, with spray paint. But it looks like they're stock control arms in here. It's kind of hard to see, but that seems to be what we're dealing with. And then the springs are black. I'm thinking that they're some kind of drag spring, because I saw pictures of the car from the previous owner and it had a big tire on it with center lines at one point, which I kind of wish they would have just stayed on there, but the upper control arms look to be stock. So we're gonna switch them out and see what happens. And then I did take the quad shocks off. I think I'm gonna put them back on just from talking to people and listening to stuff. If you can fit them, they said put them on, just flip them over. Right now the car has 245, 245, 45, 17s all the way around. The tires are basically brand new. Mickey Thompson street comps, which are actually not really Mickey Thompson tires, but they are dry rotted. They sat somewhere, I guess, in the moisture. So I'm going to end up, my plan is to do 275 40 17s on the back and 235 45 17s on the front, because these do rub a little bit like on full lock. So if I can make it a little bit skinnier tire, I think that'll help. And then if I have to put the stops in, I will. But so I measured it on the ground. It was 28 inches from the floor to the fender, to the top of the fender in the back, and 26 in the front. So we'll see what happens when we get all this stuff installed. Hopefully it goes down. So that's it for right now. So as we're progressing along, here is the spring that came out on the right, and there's the spring that's going in on the left. So I'm saying looks about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So it definitely should change the ride height of this car. So right now, I'm not videoing me taking parts out and putting new parts back in, because y'all don't want to see me do it. Like, I'm under there fighting with the exhaust, fighting with the control arms, trying to get the bolts in and out, cussing, and it's just not, me doing tutorial videos is probably not a good idea. But so this is what came out of the car. I'm assuming these are stock control arms. I mean, I guess I've seen worse, but their bushings are all cracked up, and so hopefully this makes a difference. I mean, not that it didn't really ride bad before either, so, and that one's pretty bad. Now the bushings that are up in the differential, they're a little cracked up. They're not gone, so I'm not going to change them because I know it's either you fight and have a nightmare to get them out, or you order a tool and then put new ones in. So for right now, and I just spray painted everything black, and maybe I can get under here and see, because I wanted to get some opinions from a couple guys. Let me figure out where I put my flashlight over here. This car has frame rails on it, or what do you call it, the support, support rails. Everybody always talks about the torque boxes being ripped. This car is supercharged, and I was planning on doing the torque box reinforcement, but from what I can see, I don't see any rips in the welds. I guess that's the upper. I think the lower one is the main one. They look perfectly fine to me. Like, I don't see any tears or anything. So I'm not planning on racing the car. Besides like maybe a little roll racing on the highway or something, but I don't really plan on taking it to the track and doing, launching this car. Probably won't hook anyway, because I'm just going to put a street tire on it, but and that's something I can always do down the road. But I don't know if anybody sees anything that I don't see. Said they look good to me. I said I'm just going to leave them, and then if I have to reinforce them later, I will. But if I do decide to move into doing some drag racing or something like that, but I'm guessing maybe just them putting the frame rails in where it was enough. And then I need to decide what exhaust system to go with. This car came with a Bassani came with a catted H pipe, which wasn't on the car, but you can see that it's seen better days. So there's really no use for this. It has a catless Bassani X pipe, or H pipe, whatever, X pipe, and then it had Bassani mufflers on it. They're old. They were rusting out. I actually put some of that JB steel weld stuff on here. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but they don't fit real well. And I noticed, like, I actually ordered a set of like the fake Flowmasters, and didn't even realize that. You see this one's rotted through, so I'm sure they're garbage. But the ones that I ordered, the pipe came out, on up here on one side and down here on the other side. So of course, when I went to install them, the tailpipes wouldn't fit right. The tailpipes, I'm assuming, are Bassani. I don't know, or whatever, but I'm thinking about just replacing the whole system from the headers back with I want a bullet style muffler. It seems like the reason I had to take the exhaust off was to get to the upper control arm bolt, because these mufflers were blocking it. I don't like a really loud car, but just want it to sound good. So I don't know if anybody has any opinions, or what's the best economical system to go with. I'm just throwing some paint on the sway bar, which Is that I'm assuming that was aftermarket, like maybe BMR, because that was red and the front one's red. So I'll be back when I get it all back together. Oh. Okay, well, that's the final product. I did not get to the fronts, so you can see the front is jacked up still, but it dropped the back to 26 and a half from 28, so exactly an inch and a half. And they said 1.5 inch to 2 inch drop. So I'm happy with this. I think once I put a 275 tire on it, I think it's gonna, I guess it's same height, but I think it's gonna look a little better. But I just I don't want to deal with rubbing of the tire and giving up a lot of ride quality to go any lower. That looks good to me. It was a real pain in the ass. Still not 100% sure if I got the sway bar back on properly. I'm gonna have to go back and look at my own videos. You can't see it from here, but I'm happy with this. So just need to put the front coils in, and then that'll be it. But that's it for today. I'm beat. I'm done. I'm walking away from this mess, which I typically do not do. I usually at least try to clean up my tools, but I've had it. I'm hungry. Been out here all day, so that's it for today. Well, next up is going to be replacing these tinted headlights with clears so we can actually see when we're driving down the road. And then a bunch more trim and stuff, but the car's coming along slowly. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe.